Hello everyone. Okay, so I am now going to take us from these ratios that we've already done, right? The profitability, efficiency, liquidity, leverage, and risk ratios, and now we're going to look at this in a slightly different format, right? So we're going to move from these specific ratios where we're trying to identify how profitable we are, how efficient we are, and so forth. And we're going to start looking at a couple of very simple little constructs to see what percentage of each account is of sales and total assets. And this will be called the common size statement. So first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to start on a new worksheet, right? So I'm just going to copy this. And all I'm doing is copying my file, and I'm going to go to the next page right here, and I'm just going to paste it. And I think it should just paste in pretty neatly. So here we go. We still have the same I guess accounts as last time, right? And one thing I'm going to start doing it first is I want to change this around. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is start moving these columns around. So the way I can do that is I can just, well, let's first of all, I need to unmerge this so I can do this. Okay, so I'm going to right click and I'm just going to cut, and then I right click again and I insert cut cells. Now for those of you who know me, you know I hate using my mouse for things, right? So from now on I'm going to just click, and actually I don't have to click, I can do control and the space bar highlights the entire column. Then I just keep my finger on the control key and it's X, go over where I want it, push my little Windows key thing, and then I insert cut cells by pushing the letter E, and it should, maybe if I do it this way, there you go. I have to do it for the whole column, and then I would just keep doing that for everything, right? So okay, so now we have it in a format that means something more to me. I don't really know why we typically show this from backward to front. I think when you're reporting actual financials, it makes sense because you're looking at the account and you're looking at the current year right there up front, right? And you can work your way backward and see what the history was. But what we're going to start moving toward is looking to the future. So, and that means we're going to start doing some forecasting soon. So now it will make a little bit more sense for us to start rearranging this in a different manner. So now we have this 2003 to 2007. We're going to make a common size financial statement. So I'm going to copy and paste it again, right? And I'm just going to kind of make this a little bit smaller purely so that we can see it all on one page. And you'll know that this is our cost of goods sold, right? And you'll know what COGS is at this point. Okay, so what we're going to do is make a common size statement. So let's do that. So common size financial analysis. So we'll call this, and here we have our financial statements. And all we're going to do is divide everything by sales in the income statement. That's going to be really easy. So we start off and we say this number we want to divide by this number, right? But we want to always divide by sales. So we want to hang it on there. So what we do is push the F4 key, and see what it did was it created anchors on C, on column C and row 6. But we don't want it to stay just on C because we're going to copy this to the right. So we just want it to stick on row 6. And that's how we do it. We push F4 one more time, right? If we push it again, it would go to C. Push it again, it just takes it away. So we just want to do it until we have the 6. So now that's anchored, and then the only thing we have to do is change that to a percentage sign, just like that. Okay? Now all I'm going to do is copy this. So I will right click, even though you know I hate this. Right click, copy. Okay, so but the way I do that is push Control C, and then I'm going to highlight this whole area. And what I will do now is right click and do paste special. You can also do that with your finger, with your keyboard shortcuts, but let's just show you what happens here. It pulls up a dialog box. Now these are all special ways that you can paste into Excel. And what I want to do now is say I want the formula to go through. I want to paste just the formulas. And what it's going to do is now paste that formula all through the sheet, right? But maybe what I also should do is right click, and now I want to paste special, and I want to do formulas and number formats. And so now you see I get the it pasted this formula throughout, and now I have everything in a percentage sign, and that's what I like, because now I can look through and I can see what was my cost of goods sold as a percentage of sales, what is my gross profit as a percentage of sales, which we already know that to be gross margin, right? And operating margin and net margin. But what's really neat about this is, and we can even make this out by one if we wanted to get more granular, but it shows us kind of from an SG&A perspective and a cost of goods sold perspective just how much money we're spending to produce what it is that we're making. All right, so that's the income statement side, and now we get down to the balance sheet side. And obviously we're not going to anchor everything to sales, right, in the balance sheet. But if you think about what the balance sheet equation is, the balance sheet equation states that everything that, one second, the balance sheet equation is that assets equal liabilities plus equity. And so if we know that, then one thing we can do is look at, well, what is X, and X can be cash, it can be accounts receivable, it can be any number of things. What is this account as a percent of assets, right? And that's what the question is we're going to try to answer in the common size portion of the balance sheet. So let's just do that. We're going to go over here and say cash. We're going to divide it by total assets. And again, I'm going to push F4 just a couple of times so I can anchor it on there. I'm going to go up here and change this, right? I'm probably going to tick that out a little bit. And then again, you probably have guessed by now what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and I'm going to paste special. And I'm going to right click and I will paste special, and I will paste special in number formats. And there you go. Okay, and we might not need that level of detail, but we might only need that extra decimal point in places like here where we have really small numbers, right? So that way we can maybe just look at it a little bit closer. And that's that. So that's a common size financial analysis, right? Now I'm going to take you to one more thing, and then we'll move forward. And so let's copy this again. So that was common size. Let's look at this common size financials, and I will post this for you guys. And then this one's going to be time trend financials. And so all we're going to be doing in this next one is starting again. We want to get our financial statements and we want to paste them in so we have it here, and then we want to copy them again, because, and the reason why I'm copying this and pasting it every time is just because it's giving me the framework, right, that I can use to so I don't have to rebuild this stuff, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is basically, well, 2004 is going to be a wash. That's just gonna, we'll keep that at 2004. 2004, we won't be able to see those changes, but what we can look at is from 2005 forward. So what we're going to say is we want to see the time trend analysis, and what that means is it's kind of a year over year change in accounts. And that's just going to be really simple. We're going to take 2005 divided by 2004, right? And we're going to subtract 1, so we get a percentage sign. and we're going to put that in a percentage format. Okay, so what we see here is that it increased, our sales increased by 0.6% in 2000 from 2004 to 2005. And we will just copy that over to the right. So we had a decline in sales. You see that from 1220 to 1203, and then we increase again. And now we're just going to do that all the way down. Okay? And let's see here. Something obviously looks slightly off. No, actually, it's not slightly off. This makes sense. Some things decrease significantly over time. Some things did not. So what this will help us do is look through and find hopefully some patterns. But this is going to be a little bit messy. We're going to have to look at this a little bit more in detail. And so anyway, let's just go ahead and do the same thing down here. But here we can do 2004. So we'll do cash divided by cash. Right, now we need to take this -1, put that in a percent format. And I'm just going to copy it around. And we can see some things that are interesting, like how the company is decreasing in its cash, right, over a couple of years, drastically decreasing and adding a lot of cash back. And what is really kind of phenomenal about these numbers, in this case, and obviously this is not a real company, but this is if we were looking at this and it was a real company, what would stand out at us is that these numbers are all across the board, right? When you see these crazy 237% numbers, these 373% increase in cash, that means that either something is really wrong, right? They don't know how to use their cash, or they're coming out of something really bad, right? And so all these statements are going to be used to help us answer some questions about this company. And so in this period, we just kind of looked at the common size and the time trend. And in the next video, we'll actually talk about what does that tell us. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon. Peace.